number 23.
Item number 23, we're on the unfinished business, is a petition offered by Councilor Stephanie Smith as president. Petition requesting the renewal of an inn-holder's license for Encore Boston Harbor at 1 Broadway. They were invited at your request, the council's request, and someone is here.
Motion to invite.
Second. Motion made and seconded to invite the representative from Encore. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. If you could just state your name for the record.
Sure. Good evening. I'm Eileen McEnany, Executive Director of Government Relations for Encore Boston Harbor.
Thank you. Councilor Rogers.
Thank you, Madam President, and thank you for joining us this evening. I'm sure that my colleagues are going to have numerous questions, but one of my primary concerns is, do you have an update on the transportation situation? I know we, in our host agreement, that we originally had shuttles that went around the city and they picked up people for free that you could use to get around or to the casino. Is that still active? What is the status of that?
So as you know, we did have those shuttles originally, and we had stopped them because of low ridership. And then when the MBTA updated their bus routes, the 109, which goes right by Encore, comes by with more frequency. So what we've done instead is we are the biggest contributor or funder to the Lower Mystic TMA. We pay $54,000 a year to them, and they run a shuttle in conjunction with a couple of other developers that goes and services Charlestown and Everett. But I had indicated to the mayor, and I'm certainly happy to reiterate it here, if you would prefer that we use that money in another way, we're absolutely happy or willing to do that.
And would that money have to stay in relation to transportation? Or could it
to fulfill the community agreement, yes.
Got it. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Sure.
Council President Smith. Thank you. So I received some information. So the transportation that Council Rogers was just discussing, just to give the council, in 2025, 12 million went to Everett vendors. However, 7 million of that, which is 60%, went to that vendor that we just discontinued. So you more than cut your spending with Everett businesses over 60%. Is that correct?
We did stop the contract we had with the transportation. Yes, that is correct.
And are you reinvesting that 7 million back somewhere else in the city?
We try, and so the vendor process, as I understand it, is run by the Mass Gaming Commission. They host vendor fairs, and they do it according to a particular need. So just by way of example, it might be for landscaping services or engineering or some other type of service. And they send out those notices. I have had, and we certainly encourage them to reach out to the Everett Chamber of Commerce and others. I have had conversations with the Mass Gaming Commission that their target list perhaps wasn't as comprehensive as it needed to be. And my understanding is there is a new person at the Mass Gaming Commission who oversees that. But we do encourage vendors to do business with Encore. There is a requirement that they register, and how you do that is listed on our website, and it is, in conjunction and overseen by the Mass Gaming Commission. But yes, we do try to do business with local vendors.
Thank you.
Sure.
Well, we've let 7 million that was being invested in Everett and Everett business go away. The other one I noticed is that what you sent us, another 30%, 3.7 million, is spent in Encore businesses with inside Encore. So you are claiming that you're spending 30% of business with Everett businesses, but they're registered to the address that Encore is registered at.
They lease the space, so they are Everett businesses, but certainly happy to have a conversation about how to diversify that vendor base.
I would love that, because that 90% of your spend in the city of Everett 60% of that no longer is being spent, and 30% of that goes to Encore businesses. The other ones I'd just like to ask. One of them looks like Paul W. Marks, which is food, universal screening. I'm assuming does uniforms, state line graphics as well. But everything else is small, and I believe you're supposed to spend $50,000 in gift card giveaways with local Everett businesses. So do you know what that is spent on? I don't know which one of these it is today, because I don't think we're giving it to Kumar or State Line. Do you know what the gift cards are?
So that local vendor spending does not include the $50,000 gift card annual spend. That is separate, and we do that.
Do you have a list of the vendors that you give it to?
I can certainly provide that to you.
Okay, yes. So we'd like to see the list of the $50,000 that you give to the vendors.
Sure.
The other thing I had a question of was in the agreement, I know it was under the project one, but it says, in addition, when agrees, it will include as, that's the wrong one, that's the local vendor one. Please hold. Under the local cultural impacts, that Wynn agrees to work cooperatively with the city to include features or programs in the project for the benefit of the arts and local artists, which I understand is the boat launch and some stuff that you do there. But it says include periodically hosting or providing space for community-related shows, exhibits, concerts, and other local arts and cultural programs. So have you done any exhibits or culture programs, community-related shows, et cetera, at Encore?
That I would have to get back to you on. I don't know what precedes my tenure. I've only been at Encore for about a year, but I can tell you anytime we've been asked since I have been there, we try to be receptive, assuming that we have available space. But for instance, the Everett Citizens Fund, which we contribute $250,000 a year to, we have brought to host at Encore, so we underwrite that ceremony. We did it last year, we will do it this year, and so when asked, we have tried, as I said, to be responsive.
Great. I'd like to see community events and cultural programs outside of ones that Encore is obligated to pay into. For example, we have art programs, we have community programs, we have lots of multicultural groups here, and I'd love to see Encore doing some type of events to show the artwork that the people in the city have done. We have, so I think there's more work that Encore could be doing to give back to this community based off the spirit of the host agreement, and I'd like you to take that back. And I'm also just like to take back that I'm really disappointed in the $12 million that we spend. $7 million no longer gets spent, and $3.6 million of that gets spent at Encore. But no further questions for me.
If I could make a further comment on that. We operate as a business, as you can appreciate, right? And so we work with vendors. We do, like every other business, though, do try to get the best rates and so forth. So we put out some of those things to bid. And so, we're happy, as I said, to work with local vendors and to increase that spend, but they do have to register. That's a requirement of the state, not Encore, and so happy to work within those confines for sure.
Great. I'd love you to work with not only the Chamber of Commerce, but I know Council Alice Jaboon has a lot of contacts in the city, and how could we work with Frank and Nick's Pizzeria gets almost $3 million. It's in Encore. Why aren't some of the local businesses in Everett? We have multitude of businesses food businesses in Everett. Why can't we do something to bring people out of Encore to the city? Encore is there to help support Everett. We're not taking these people outside of Encore. We're not bringing this money outside of Encore into the city, which in my opinion is the spirit of the host agreement. So I would like Encore to bring people back into the city of Everett and not just spend the entire money at Encore. I know that Encore is a business. That's what they do. Our Everett businesses can't afford the lease to get into Encore. There's not one Everett business that is in Encore today. They can't afford the lease. Maybe we could work with getting an Everett business in there. I'm happy to work with you. I'm happy to work with the community planning board, I think we're called now, to get some more businesses registered so that you can continue to support Everett businesses. Like I said, I love that you're supporting Kumar and Quayle and State Line and Universal. But I would like us to support, again, that's minimal spend, more Everett businesses, that we put this host a community agreement in play for a reason, and that is to support the community, and I just don't see that happening today. But I'll yield my questions.
Happy to work with you.
Thank you.
Sure.
Councilor Matusky.
Thank you for appearing this evening, Mrs. Kennedy. A few meetings ago, we brought up an issue. You know, when the casino did come to Everett, we kind of felt that, you know, we'd have some great entertainment. Now, I know you had Wayne Newton and Casey and the Sunshine Band. And after that, that was 5 years ago, I believe, maybe longer, when you first opened. There has been no entertainment value at the casino. And, you know, if you go inside, there isn't any entertainment. There's not like a place. If somebody goes in there, for instance, and their friend is playing the slot machine, we'll say, and they're not interested in that. They want to sit down and listen to music and so forth. There was nothing that I know of. There was one restaurant on the second floor that they closed up that was, to me, it was the most affordable. The upper deck, I don't know, I guess there was some union problem there. But, you know, when are you going to bring, like, boxing or a sports type of event there? I mean, you know, we love the boat that goes into Boston. The grounds are beautiful. But, you know, we were expecting a little bit more here in Everett, I believe. 82% of the people voted for this casino. You know, it was sold to us as a very positive thing. You got rid of a blighted area, and it looks great. But there's just something. There's no, I like to say savoir-faire, but I don't know if you get what I mean here.
I do. And you may recall, we first considered that we would be offering that kind of Las Vegas style entertainment that you're describing. But you may also recall that a lot of the local facilities that offered live entertainment were concerned about Encore opening or having that ability. And so they foreclosed. We're not able to have live entertainment. And we were required to file, or sign rather, the impacted live entertainment venue agreement, which limits our ability to host events. So that is a statutory requirement.
Well, I don't know. MGM has an entertainment department because I see the commercials on TV. Mm-hmm. They have boxing, they have entertainment, and I don't know why Encore doesn't, but, you know, that wasn't, you know, how come you had, you know, not to put it on you, I know you've been there a short period of time, but 4 years ago, you had some great entertainment. And, you know, for instance, I had company from out of town. They wanted to go, let's go see a show. You don't even have a piano player in there.
Well, and we did in the rear lounges, you may or may not know, but customers complained about the noise. And so there is a piano still at rear lounge, but they have opted not to use it. Certainly, I can bring back your concerns about wanting more live entertainment. I don't know how MGM does it, and we don't, and so I'll get back to you on that.
Would you find out how, they have it, because I've seen it on commercials on TV. We don't have entertainment here at your location, but I appreciate you being here this evening. You know, as a councilman, and I think we all feel the same way, there is no connection with you people. There's no communication. It's like a whole different city over there. And that's okay, but the thing is, you know, it'd be nice, like, there's small companies in Everett that are more open and hospitality. I don't get it. There's a lack of notification. You don't participate that I could see. Councilor Smith brought up, you know, you should be more involved with the youth in this city and so forth. You're a big company. You're making a lot of money over there. And, you know, I thought we were going to get more, and I think the people of Everett thought we were going to get a better bang out of this. And it doesn't look that way to me. But if you could find out from the Gaming Commission. We did send them that resolution, Madam President. And we sent it to the Gaming Commission to find out, and they never got back to us either, did they, Mr. Clerk? So, you know, that's my concern right now.
And I appreciate that. I do want to say Encore very much values the partnership that we have with Everett, and we try to be good corporate citizens. I can certainly commit to you tonight, would love to have open communication. I am your point person as the government relations person, so happy to hand out my cards, and certainly you have my information to reach out. And I will say we try to be responsive, or I can only speak, you know, to my tenure, but I'm happy to make sure we are responsive. I do want to say, though, I think is important, have a statement. Obviously, you can see it's pretty detailed about what we do for Everett every year. And in the interest of time, I didn't read it. I'm happy to summarize it, though, because I think Encore is a good neighbor and a good corporate citizen, and we are generous with volunteers' time, and we give to many local arts. I can tell you, we volunteer and provide volunteer initiatives for the arts of Everett, Everett Grace Food Pantry, Everett Little League, Everett Public Schools, Mystic River Watershed. We sponsor Everett Night Out. Excuse me, and do other community events as asked. We also have given $13 million in contributions to social services like food insecurity and so forth, nonprofits, since opening our doors. Not all of them are directly to Everett nonprofits or social service organizations, but they benefit people in Everett, Greater Boston Food Bank, Food for Free, lots of the area hospitals like Children's Hospital and so forth. We're also really proud that every year, and I've participated in it, and it's really something to see, and I would encourage all of you to do so when we have it again, but it's called Feed the Funnel Initiative, and we have put together to date almost 4 million meals we put together for our neighbors in need. And at each event, we put together 1 million. It's 3 days strong. And, you know, so we absolutely try to be good neighbors.
Well, I appreciate that.
Sure.
You know, but I think, Mrs. Kennedy, to be fair.
It's Eileen McEnany. Sorry, you didn't hear.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's no problem. Thanks.
What is your name again?
It's McEnany.
McEnany. I don't know where
Almost
I got
as
Kennedy.
tough as yours, right?
Thank you. But I think you know our concerns. There seems to be a missing link here between the council and the casino. And I hope that, you know, we can improve on that.
And I agree.
Thank you.
Sure.
Councilor Martins.
Thank you. So a lot of my concerns have already been addressed by my colleagues, but to me, so the purpose of inviting you today, and thank you so much for appearing, is to reestablish this relationship between this Encore and the city, and to where you can become part of Everett, because this is kind of symbolic, but if we go to the website, it's all about Boston Harbor. The casino is facing that way, and it's like you're turning your back to Everett symbolically, but that's also what we see when we talk about all these topics. And when the casino got approved, there was this excitement about the promise of all the resources and how you would be a resource to the city of Everett, where we get to all the topics that Council President Smith brought up, as far as, which also includes understanding how the city works. And I know that's not the obligation of a business, but when you're a business of that magnitude and you're interested in giving back and being a good corporate citizen, you would do the work of understanding that a lot of our local businesses still need the education to understand how to even show up to one of your vendor fairs. And we actually have one coming up in the city of Everett on Thursday at 3:30. I'm not sure if you received an invitation, where we're starting from the bottom and we're teaching our local businesses where to find bids, how to apply the type of insurance they need, how to get those contracts, and how to become certified to also do business with the state. So we would love for Encore to have a table. And if you also have those vendor fairs, please let us know so we can get the word out to our businesses. And as much as we love and respect the work of the Chamber of Commerce, we only have maybe 2 few diverse businesses that are part of the Chamber of Commerce, also because they don't have the education on how to join and what the benefits are. Not because of them, but just because of cultural barriers of understanding the benefits of being a part of a bigger business body. On the transportation aspect that you answered the question by Council President Smith, so the investment is now going towards the existing line. Can you describe what those stops are? Are they covering the same areas where the shuttles used to cover, like Everett Square, Market Basket, Route 16?
So they definitely go to Market Basket. That I know. I don't know all of the stops, but I can get that route for you.
Okay, which I also think the residents were missing out on that really nice shuttle with the air conditioning because of education, because we don't know how to communicate with the population we have, and we need to be learning and make an effort. On the promise with hiring, do you have the current percentage of Everett residents that are employed by Encore?
I do. So we currently employ 567 Everett residents. That's about 17% of our total workforce, and 76 of them are in supervisory or management positions.
So I would also suggest investment into our local organizations that educate our residents on how to create their resumes, how to apply for citizenship, so that way we can elevate our community so they can apply for more jobs right here in Everett. And then my last request is that we would love to have regular updates, as we talked about offline, perhaps like a breakdown of those numbers and how many, how much of the dollars that you've been investing back in the community, the initiatives that you've been supporting with the schools and kids sports and all the dollars that are coming into Everett. And we would love as a council to be invited to your events so we know when they're happening and we can also be there. So.
Certainly, and so I will say, I mean, some of this may be, when I was hired, there was a community relations person who isn't at Encore anymore. She left, to take care of her father. And so I don't know if some of the emails that you're referring to have gone to her. And I can't speak to, I'm not sure where some of these requests have gone. They haven't come to me, and so I have not been able to be responsive, but certainly commit to you on a go-forward basis that if you direct them to me, I will certainly make sure they get to the proper people within Encore.
Yeah, we've had previous multiple emails regarding the construction of the bridge and security concerns and host agreement issues. And I recently have something with the lights that I would love to address with somebody. If you have any, if
the
Encore
traffic lights?
Traffic light. I don't know if it's Boston or if Encore, but that's a different topic. But we'll now have you as a point person, and we can take it from there.
Sure.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Councilor Petrantonio.
Some of my questions were answered, but I want to just talk about them. Everett residents, do you have a list of how many Everett residents? Do you have that? Can you provide us a list with their names?
I don't know if we're able to because of privacy violations, but if that's not a concern or an issue, I think we probably can.
I mean, how do we know that there are that many people working there if we don't have a list? How do we know that?
I'm giving you my word. We also provide that to the Mass Gaming Commission. We're required to do that on a quarterly basis. They are our regulator and oversee us. So I think they're looking at that, or they can audit that if they choose, but we do provide that information to the Mass Gaming Commission.
Okay. And it's all well and good of everything that you do for the city of Everett, but I mean, let's face the facts. You guys got a good rate on your tax rate. So, I mean, you made a statement, you give money to here and there, but you do get a good rate on your taxes. So let's not say, you're doing good things and you're putting money in the community, great, but you did get a good rate on your taxes. Not that you negotiated that, or not that I negotiated that, but let's face the facts, okay? And the second thing, the 3.7 million, the Everett businesses that are in your location, in the Encore itself, they get free rent?
No, they do not. They rent from Encore.
So on that 3.7, you're getting rent from them. So actually that money really isn't 3.7 because you're actually getting rent from them, correct?
If you want to deduct their net expenses,
right?
sure.
So that's not really a true number, I don't think. I don't think. I mean, you have to give back more to the businesses in Everett. You do, whether it's universal and you're saying you send it out to bid and try to, I understand you're a business, but we're a city. We got taxpayers here, so we're looking out for them. We got businesses here. We're looking out for them. You're looking out to send it out to bid. I don't think you should send it out to bid. I think you should just send it right to the Everett businesses and see if they provide that service. I think you should give them first shot at it. I mean, you don't have to follow procurement laws, do you?
We certainly have internal procedures, right? We are a publicly traded company that has a responsibility to the shareholders, so we do have to get a return on investment. So we do care about the cost of the goods and services we procure.
Oh, also you have a host agreement with the city that you're supposed to follow.
We do, which does suggest
but
that we work with vendors.
You having these businesses in your building doesn't do anything for this. I think for the businesses in Everett. I don't think that helps. I don't think it helps one business in Everett. You having your businesses in that building, because you're still getting rent from them. You're still getting something from them. So that $3.7 million of them having businesses in Everett, I don't think we should even count them, personally. And then let's jump to the transportation. When you guys opened up, there would be a bus. That shuttle would be everywhere, which was great. Now, I haven't seen a shuttle or a bus in probably a couple of years now.
As I did mention earlier, we did discontinue that because we had very low ridership, and we couldn't justify that. So instead, we give money to the lower Mystic TMA, which provides the shuttle to residents of Everett. And I did say, we're certainly willing to revisit that. If you prefer we spend the money elsewhere, we're happy to have that discussion.
And where do these shuttles run out of? I mean, I don't used to see the buses. What kind of buses do they shuttle in?
They should be marked with the lower Mystic TMA logo. So I can tell you what kind of, I don't know exactly what size the bus is, but they should be marked that they are.
So they're not the Encore buses like you guys have?
They are not the Encore buses.
Can you get us a route and how many buses?
Sure,
and
sure, absolutely.
How many hours they're on the road and what their time is and all that?
I can, absolutely. They have that detailed, yes, and part of it may be that the shuttle was launched, and this was according to the most recent lower Mystic TMA meeting, and they would call it a soft launch, but they did it and they were, kind of trying it out and so forth, and they were supposed to have a more public launch. So I'm not sure if that has actually taken place, but I will look. But they do have the numbers of when they run. They run 7 days a week, more limited on the weekends, and they do have those ridership numbers, so I'm happy to provide that to you.
Yeah, I'd appreciate that. All right, thank you for coming up, and also thank you for your security team for supplying that video, help the Everett Police Department solve that crime. I appreciate that.
Yep, and I do just want to comment on that we have a great rate. We have that pilot agreement, which, as you know, it started off as $20 million and it grows every year for inflation. So in the last fiscal year, we paid the city of Everett $22,911,016 for the pilot. And then we also have an annual community impact fee, which is $5,692,397 in the last fiscal year. And then when you add in our motor vehicle excise and some other taxes, we contribute about almost $35 million a year to the city of Everett, which is 9% of the mayor's proposed budget for fiscal year 2027.
No disrespect, but that's peanuts. That's peanuts where you guys pull in. Peanuts. No disrespect.
Well, and we also...
Don't come in and tell me $35 million is a lot of money. It's not for you guys. Absolutely not.
I would just remind, we also have to pay to the state 25% of gross revenues tax off the top. So our taxes are a considerable cost.
I don't worry about the state. I worry about the city of Everett. Thank you.
Councillor Elsie Jaboon.
Thank you. Thank you for coming to present to us. I just want to say that when the casino was coming in, it was a village. When they say it takes a village, it took a village in Everett for the casino to come. We were all excited. We were promised the world that we never got. A lot of people, a lot of us are disappointed in the way we've been neglected by the casino. The lack of work that Everett workers were kept away from, the good paid jobs, services, and it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. We took you guys with open arms, even though we were blindsided by the agreement that most of us has never seen till this day. And it's just sad because I feel like there's a lot of miscommunications. Like, for instance, the buses. I heard from some drivers that used to drive the buses, and they're like, oh, we don't have that job anymore because we were told that the city of Everett charges too much taxes, so we can't keep them up. Not sure if that's true, but that was just... It's just sad to hear that someone lost their job because of taxes, but everybody knows that the casino's not broke. And, you know, for the transportation, it would be nice if we could at least get a picture or the route so we could tell our constituents, you know, where those stops are so they could take them, because none of us knows how those buses look like.
Sure. I committed to do that, and I'm happy to make sure you get that route, for sure.
If I may ask, how many workers do you have at the casino?
In Everett workers or in total?
In total.
Total, we have 3,343, of which 567 are Everett residents, so that's about 17%. I will say we also have community agreements with several of the other surrounding communities, and so we do try to make sure we adhere to those community agreement requirements as well.
Like most of the councilors said, we would love to see Encore be more involved in Everett. We would like to be included when you guys have events. If you send them to the councilors, we will share it with our communities. We will share it with our businesses that were super excited for Encore to be here. But we felt like a bunch of neglected kids.
And so I'm happy to include Everett to the extent that we can, but I just need a little more clarification. What type of events do we have where we're not inviting Everett? I honestly don't know, so I'm just asking.
Or lack of services that were promised to us that we don't see happening in the city. So
again,
that was just my comment. Thank you.
And again, I just want to reiterate, we do value our community agreement. We work very hard to make sure that we abide by that community agreement. And so if you're feeling that we're not, I would love to hear the specific places where you feel we're falling short so that we can address them.
Thank you. Councilor Capone. I think we have two more and then we'll wrap it up.
The building where the casino is located, Wynn doesn't own that building anymore, do they? Isn't that building now sold to a California real estate conglomerate?
It was.
So Wynn technically is just a long-term tenant. You have like a 90-some-odd-year-old lease?
I don't know the terms of the lease, but we did sell the building.
Does Wynn, are there tax advantages to Wynn by leasing and not owning the building?
I would have to get back to you on that. I do not know.
And how many years in from opening the casino did Wynn sell the building and the land?
Again, I'm not sure when that sale took place. I think it was several years ago, but I can get you that exact date.
I also just wanted to say that it's so discouraging to hear that 83% of your employees at the casino are not from Everett. People who voted to put the casino in or live with the traffic or the changes to the neighborhood. How disappointing. And I know that it's a difficult process to apply for a job at the casino, but you're really saying that only 17% of the people in Everett can work for your company?
We give hiring preference to Everett residents, and
But are you saying that 83% of Everett residents don't make the cut to work for Wynn? But Wynn voters were so generous to vote to have Wynn be part of our community.
I mean, there are a lot of considerations. We are a 5-star resort, which takes our service very seriously, and so we do have.
Are you saying Everett citizens
I'm not
on
saying that.
5-star?
I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is we do give preferences to Everett residents. They also have to meet the qualifications, and we do have qualifications because we are a 5-star resort, and they may be stricter perhaps than other hospitality, but we do give preference.
I guess we were a 5-star when you wanted to do business with the city of Everett. But now that you're already here, are you looking down on the citizens in Everett?
Not at all. Not at all.
Thank you.
Sure.
Councilor Martins.
Thank you. I'll be quick because it's my second time, but I just wanted to clarify on the vendor issues, just that we have a systemic issue where bigger businesses with multiple contracts, they know exactly how to bid, they have multiple contracts, but our local businesses, our Santana's Bakery, Elm Street Bakery, or Nana's, it would make a difference for them to sell 500 breads, to sell pastries to the casino, but they are not equipped with what they need to bid. So if we can do something to reach out to these businesses so they have the opportunity and some of your resources can be funneled back to or downtown to revitalize and keep their businesses running, that would be awesome. So to the extent that they can participate on the bidding process, but just learning how to and making an effort to get to them. On the other surrounding communities that have host agreements, they're not the ones stuck in our traffic. So, and also our host agreement, unfortunately, was negotiated mostly unilaterally by the previous mayor without input from the residents and the council, including the most recent that was signed from Aruba on the last hour of the last day, and we only got to see it after we already had a new mayor. So a lot of the items on the agreements are not things that we necessarily agreed to, and that's why there's a contention. So I just wanted to put it out there. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Garcia.
Thank you, Madam President. I just wanted to acknowledge that Encore has been present with tables at Everett job fairs. I'm thinking maybe this is a good time to plug. Is there a place on the website where Everett residents can apply so that they know? I'm thinking maybe we're not getting as many Everett residents applying, so this seemed appropriate. Is there on your website hiring?
I can't answer that definitively, but I'm happy to get back to you. Okay.
Any further questions?
Motion to excuse our guest for the customary guest.
Thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you.
before us, and we'll continue to stay in touch.
A motion for favorable action on the license.
On the in-holder license, I second.
Okay, motion made in second to excuse our guests. All in favor?
Thank you.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Favorable action on the in-holder's license. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Alcee Dubois.
No.
Councilor Capone.
No.
Councilor DePiero.
Yes.
Councilor Garcia.
Yes.
Councilor Matusky.
Yes.
Councilor Martins. Yes. Councilor Weed.
Yes.
Councilor Petrantonio.
No.
Councilor Rogers.
Yes.
And Council President Smith.
Yes.
7 yeas, 3 nays. You have so passed the in-holder's license.
Motion to take item number 16 out of order.
Second.
Motion made in second.